Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in Stanislaus County on our roadshow. We are joined today by Tom Changnon. He is the elected superintendent of this beautiful county. And sir, I'd like to speak with you about one of your most important goals, and that is getting kids diplomas. Get them their high school degree. Talk to us about some programs you have put into place to get them diplomas.
Okay, well, thank you, Brad. And this came to our attention a few years ago when we were looking at high school graduation rates around the state, and we compared Stanislaus County's graduation rates to other counties, and we are at the state average. The state average for graduation rates is about 82%.
Which actually is up a bit.
It is.
It's been a good decade on that front.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is up. But given the circumstances of the society that we live in now and the global economy and competition for jobs, that's not acceptable any longer. And we have to really work to get students not just with a diploma, but some technical training so that they can be able to join a trained workforce and be employable so we can attract business and all of the great things that result from that.
So tell us about your destination graduation program.
Oh, it doesn't have a great ring to it. Destination
really
graduation.
It does.
So this initiative consists of 5 pillars. And for example, one is best practices, another is parent engagement, and this initiative has been very successful. We're well into the second year of it. It has been successful for 2 reasons. Number one, this is the 4th initiative that we have done countywide since I've been the superintendent for 10 years. And local businesses and community leaders have bought into it because of the success of our previous initiatives. And they said, well, this must have some relevance and meaning if the county office is doing this.
So what are you doing?
Well, here's what we have incorporated. For example, we know that a lot of young people drop out for reasons other than the work is too hard. And we have made an effort to bring a lot of these high school dropouts back to school. And one of the best practice programs that we started is called Comeback Kids. And through social media, we have attracted, in the last 2 years, we have over 1,000 students now that are enrolled in classes throughout Stanislaus County. The average age is 28 years old. 28.
So they're essentially 10 years out of high school.
Yes.
And you've convinced them to come back not to get a GED, but to get their diploma.
That's right. And it's really important that these young people, and they all have a story, Brad, because some of them were maybe 12 credits from a high school diploma, and some life happened to them and they dropped out. But the most important thing is they're back and they're highly motivated. The teachers that work with them say they are just a joy to work with because somehow the light has gone on and they realize without that piece of paper and some skills, their future doesn't have a lot of hope in it, and they're not able to visualize and live out the American dream as we would want them to do. So the program has been very successful. I want to let you know that last year at our graduation, we had one of the speakers was a mother of 3, and she was 41 years old.
Fantastic.
She had her husband and the kids in the front row, balloons, flower bouquets, and she spoke and said, you know, I came back to get my diploma for 2 reasons. Number one, how can my kids believe me when I tell them to study and get an education when I don't have one myself? And number 2 is I've always wanted to work, and I have been unable to do that because I can't put down there that I'm a high school graduate. And this is my ticket and my key out. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house because her message was, you're never too old. You're never too old, and you just have to just stay with it and persist.
At the same time, there are students, children, I will say, that haven't reached the age of high school graduation that are about to fall out.
That's
They're
correct.
about to drop out. And you are looking to snag them before they drop out. Many of them are already involved in the criminal justice system. Tell us about how you're diverting these kids to make sure they're not, although God bless her, that 41-year-old who had to come back.
Yes, yes. So we know that young people that are having problems being successful in a regular comprehensive high school, oftentimes they do make some poor choices and end up in court-run schools such as juvenile hall, probation programs that we operate as a county office. And oftentimes the judge will give them because we started this new military program called Stanislaus Military Academy. Great program. And students now, because it has a reputation, and we now have students that before they go before a juvenile judge will say, I want to go to this school. And they're dressed in regular camo uniforms.
Oh, really?
We take them for a week to Camp Parks, which is over in the Bay Area. It's a regular active military camp. The students participate in a lot of the regular activities over there, and they come back, and it's almost a rite of passage. They get their stripes and their name on their uniform, and there's just this sense of pride, because for many of these people, Brad, they haven't experienced success in quite a while.
Right.
And they work together as a team, and they're encouraged and pulled together to complete that week. And this program, the Military Academy, has really changed lives. And I can tell you, when they have their ceremony at the end of the year, the students are thankful and grateful that they had this opportunity for a second chance.
And they graduate
And
with
they
diplomas.
graduate. We are graduating over 90% of our students in this program, and these are young people that had no academic success prior to this.
I want to talk about the teachers of those students. For better or for worse, we are not recruiting enough teachers in California. And we have reached a crisis. We know that this year, California has the highest student-to-teacher ratio in the nation. We know that if we wanted to hit a 20-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, which is kind of a sweet spot, we would need to hire 60,000 more teachers. That's 3 times more than we hired in 2014. And that would be on a yearly basis.
That's correct. That's correct.
We're in trouble.
Oh, it's a serious dilemma, and it's certainly on our radar, and it's a twofold problem. The problem number one is baby boomers, such as myself, are beginning to retire
Right.
and leave the field of education, and we're not doing a terrific enough job to front load and get young people as they go into college to think about entering into the field of teaching.
And also, you think about the public perception of teachers. We all love our kids' teacher.
Yes.
But the teachers,
Right.
they're demonized. The teachers' union is demonized, the teachers are demonized, and I'm not commenting on the politics of it. I'm just talking about the public perception. And so it's hard to blame these kids. Why would I want to go into a profession that is not held in high esteem and where the pay, is not great?
Right. Well, Brad, I can remember in our household growing up, because my wife taught for 39 years
Wow.
and she just retired. And our kids, as they got older, they would say, well, boy, Mom and Dad, we're never going to go into teaching because we see you every night on the phone calling parents. You're correcting papers into the night. Why would we want to do that? And how much do you get paid for doing that? And so the perception of the teaching field is that it is a lot of work, and perhaps the monetary reward isn't there.
But let me ask you, sir, what more important profession is there than teaching our kids?
Exactly.
And so is it time for we as Californians to come together and say, we need to pay our teachers more? Just plain and simple. We need to pay them more.
Well, and this comes on the heels of last week being the Week of the Teacher.
Right.
And we had great celebrations honoring our local teachers, and they are so humble, and it's a calling for many to go into the profession.
I get that, but at a certain point, look, there are financial realities.
Exactly.
It's a calling to be an elected official, it's a calling to be a teacher. Yeah, but you gotta pay the bills.
That's right.
And
That's
so, look, God bless them, and I love that they feel that sense of public service. But is it too much to ask that we pay them a wage that will allow them to live decently?
It would have to be very competitive for them to be able to support themselves and or a family, for example, and different areas. We feel that we can attract quality teachers in the Central Valley because our living costs are not like they are in Southern California or the Bay Area, and so that gives us an advantage. But the point is, we don't pay as high in the Central Valley either as they pay in some of those
When
other
you come
areas.
back, I want to continue this conversation. It's
Okay,
a very
great.
important one. His name is Tom Changnon. He is the superintendent in Stanislaus County. My name is Brad Pomerance, and this is Charter Local Edition.